Boo! Only kidding. It's Spook Month. Okay, seriously guys, the last few days I've been noticing something creepy stalking me. I don't know what it is or why it's here or what its favourite snack is, I just know it's evil and it won't stop. I keep seeing it everywhere. Creeping me out, following me. I feel like I'm being watched. That was probably nothing. I love Halloween. I mean, it's the best holiday of the year. What other time is cutting big ugly faces into fruit appropriate? I'll tell you, none. So I was wondering what to do for Halloween. This is basically a Sonic channel, so I was thinking we could carve a Sonic pumpkin, make our very own Sonic Halloween costume. But no, none of those are scary enough. So today I decided I'm going to show you my skeleton. Let's get started. Holy shit! What the? I've got it. It's extremely hideous. It's positively foul. I'm going to make a spooky Sonic Zone. Okay, let's go. So, since we are making a spooky Halloween Sonic Zone, we need to think of a few different key elements. The setting, like the background, items, decoration, and enemies. The two ideas for the setting I came up with was either a haunted mansion or an outdoor graveyard. A mansion could indeed be very cool with large glass windows in the back, ghosts, clocks, mechanical traps and such. However, you miss out on some of the cool stuff outside, like pumpkins, tombstones, the moon, insects, creepy mountains, all of that. So just to really push the Halloween spirit as far as possible, I'm going to go for an outdoor graveyard type of area. I'm going to start by picking a general sky colour and then try and come up with some interesting shapes for the mountains. I want these to be completely disturbing and a little bit fantasy. These aren't your typical mountains for sure, but it will really help this zone feel less bland. Then I'm going to create a basic sky gradient. I'm sure the colours will change a lot during the course of this, but it's a start. Just going to add more layers for later, like hills and stuff, and add the moon here. And then I'm going to map out some clouds. Shading these clouds is rather simple. Here they are just lit from underneath, I guess. So I block out that and then I add more shades and detail to the dark parts. With the clouds done, it's onto the hills. These will be grassy with some dirt patches, and they will also act as our transition from dark mountains to a bright graveyard, so I have to keep that in mind. To draw grass detail, I add some grass shapes along the edge of colour blocks, and then a couple little bits of detail within them, and I just reuse it over the whole thing. It's a neat trick, and it saves time, so why not? Nice. So now I'm going to texture the graveyard floor. It's a basic transition texture from one colour to another, which I can repeat and repurpose as the shades get brighter. There's no need for it to be anything more complex than that. Time for the tombstones themselves. I'll draw a few different types and then again repurpose them. It's very similar to how older games would have a few tiles and reuse them, though I'm not strictly adhering to the tile layout at all this time, because I don't need to. So we have the further back layers being darker and the front ones being brighter. This background now has a ton of depth to it, and I really think it's coming together. Last major thing I'm going to add is a big iron fence towards the front. Very nice. I'm just going to add a couple unique elements like a small building in the hills and a larger tombstone with a graveyard. The background seemed a little bit dull, so I've given it a sort of bluer, cooler, more colourful vibe. So let's look at what we got. We have fences, many grave layers, hills, or 2 layers of hills, creepy mountains, clouds, a moon and the sky. And I'm going to add a tower to the mountains, because why not? Right, time to start the items. Now, to think of all the best Halloween items we could use, we need some inspiration. Let's look on the World Wide Web. So after a quick trip to Google, the sorts of things I found were like pumpkins, which we can have items inside of, tombstones of course, twisted trees which spiders could come down from, iron fences which you can walk on, or spiked iron fences which replace the spikes in this level, and maybe like a bouncy web mechanic, or just maybe a web you get stuck in, we'll see. What better item to begin with than a big fat pumpkin? I'm just blocking out the main shape and then layering detail over top. And we've got a big one and a small one. For the design on these, I decided to just go with robotic, as I assume he's the one who left these everywhere. And I'm creating a broken one because, you know, I imagine that these function like destructible items which you can just jump on and break and find something underneath, like a spring. And these are the little pieces that would fly out. Now I'm going to draw a large foreground version of our basic tombstones. I reckon these are just for decoration. Sonic could go around jumping on these to find stuff. That happens in other games, but I doubt he would for some reason. Now it's time for a big, ugly tree. Much like the mountains, I didn't want this to be any basic tree, like from Sonic, just a straight tree. This is Halloween, spooks time, and we need the creepiest tree available. The shape I'm blocking out is trying to be like a creepy, twisted, gnarled husk of a tree with no life to it. So with the tree done, the only remaining part of the general foreground is the foreground itself. We need a ground surface to like replace grass and some kind of dirt texture. I think that'll work for the grass. For the dirt, I was inspired by soul sand to add wailing faces as a texture, so I hope that comes through in this design here. Now making a bouncy web in a corner, as I reckon a speedy bouncy type gimmick is better than one that just slows you down. I imagine it's working kind of like a trampoline or those things. And I decided to go back to the background and make these railings way smaller. They were just so big, way too big for how far away they were meant to be. So this makes more sense. And we can actually reuse the big ones as the foreground railings that you can walk on. So we have these smooth ones and these spiked ones, and I think that's a substitute for normal everyday spikes, I suppose. And it's enemy time. First things first, I'm in a very spidery mood, so I think that'll make a good first robot. Okay, it's a bit too realistic for Sonic, so I'm adding robotic joints just to make it a slight bit less realistic. And I made it purple too. Still very creepy and, well, enormous. Next, these, I don't know, is the only like ghost in classic Sonic kinda, so I assume they'll hang out here. Just go along with it, okay? Lastly, I wanted to create a creepy version of a moto bug, because they're so cute, but they can be creepy too, right? They can be scary. I'll make it into a dark style and like the spider a little bit. Very menacing. And that's that. Are you ready to see the final result? Here it is. It's just like a diorama, I know. I honestly didn't have enough time to build it into a playable stage. If you would still like to see it like being played in some way, I could make another video, but I'm recording this at like the 11th hour and I honestly cannot, I'm sorry. But I think it works really well together. I'm genuinely very happy with it visually, and I also think maybe with like 1 or 2 more elements in there, it could be a legitimately fun and atmospheric stage to play. What do you think? Well, that's real nice. I've always wanted to make a creepy Sonic Zone, and there it is. Wait, what? Whoa, who the fuck did this? A Halloween Sonic Zone, that's cool. I'll just say I did it. Well, I'm not quite sure what happened today, but at least I'm back to my proper self. Fingers! Just a joke. You know, for some strange reason, I really want to make a web, like spin a whole web.